Hey guys, it's JStar360 here with another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. vlog. I'm kind of playing catch up here, but anyway, we got the repairs. This is the episode, if you don't remember, where there's this woman who they believe has telekinetic powers. There's lots of unfortunate stuff always happening around her, and they capture her, bring her aboard the ship, and strange stuff is happening, and they're trying to figure it out. Now, first off, at the end of the last episode, which, by the way, this episode picks up the day after the previous episode, which I thought was interesting. I mean, there haven't been that many episodes where it follows what just happened in the previous episode. Actually, that did happen. We had the pilot, and then the episode next episode picked up right after that. But anyway, so in my last vlog, I was like, did they have sex? Did they not? It's very clear they had sex. I mean, they slept in the same... That Ward and May had sex. They slept in the same room. At one point, this guy's like, May needs to get laid, and Ward just stops what he's doing for a couple seconds. Now, before I go into what I thought of the episode, I just want to point out something I found interesting, which is that a couple episodes back, we had the episode where Skye was tracking down that guy she knew named... Oh, yeah, and... I think it was the girl in the flower dress episode. Yeah, it was. Pretty sure it was. Where Skye meets up with that guy she hasn't seen in a while, and they clearly have sex. She takes her shirt off. It's an intense makeout. Heavily implied. Yet, here we really don't get anything. I don't know why. Did they feel like they didn't want to flat out show that side of Agent May? Were they afraid it would be a little too much? Or was it like something censor related? Because if it's censored, it's like you showed Skye, why can't you show May? And this also begs the question, who is this show made for? Because I'm sure there's tons of kids who watch the Marvel movies. I guarantee there's kids who are watching this show and they're like, Mommy, what does laid mean? What was going on at the end of that episode? And it's like... Yeah. But, then again, there's tons of sex stuff I never got as a kid. Like, there's these books called the Alana Books, and at the time I didn't quite know how sex was performed. Call me an idiot, but anyway, it's about this girl named Alana, and I'm going to spoil the book, so if you don't want spoiled, then just skip ahead to 3:30. I'll try to be done by then. Anyway, so Alana, it's basically Mulan, but this prince guy named Jonathan finds out, and she's in love with her, and Alana gets this charm that prevents her from having children, and Jonathan's like, have you ever tried it out? And she's like, what do you mean by that? And he starts making out for her and unlacing her, and I did not know the significance of that at the time, but now that I know it's about sex, I do, so yeah. But yeah, it could pass over people's heads, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. Although Road to El Dorado had a sex scene implied. But anyway, I digress. So this episode, first off, I want to put this out. The scene where they're going to the woman who they think might be Telekinetic's house, that reminded me of the scene in X-Men 3 where Magneto and Xavier go to Jean Grey's house. But anyway, so this episode, this was an Agent May episode. Well, not really, but it was like an episode that heavily focused on her. We got a bit of insight into her backstory, and that sort of began with the whole... It's this running gag of how there's a story about why they call her the Calvary, and everyone says no, it started as just something Fitz and Simmons were telling to Skye as sort of like a freshman prank. And it sort of just devolved into this running gag where they tell the story, and then somebody will be like, no, that's not what happened, this is what happened. Then somebody will be like, no, that's not what happened, this is what happened. And eventually we do learn a bit about this story, about this traumatic incident that changed May's life. And it's a touching scene, except for one thing. We are told the backstory, and We aren't even told it by Agent May. We're told it by someone else. So as a result, not only do we not get the entire not get to see the backstory, but we don't even get the full backstory. We just get someone's account of what happened to them, and they're not even sure, which really bothers me because I feel like on a good show, while there should be a bit of the why, I think good shows, it's what's gonna happen. And with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's never what's gonna happen next. It's what's the answer to this question, and they're dragging it out almost intentionally, like if they know that if they answer these questions, you're not gonna want to watch the show anymore. Understand that, but it's just really annoying. As a result, it's like the fucking cocktease. Like this backstory. Like I really don't understand why they couldn't just give us Agent May's backstory. I mean, other than they just want you to keep watching, but there's tons of other stuff that they could tease you with, like Agent Coulson. But anyway, here's my problem with the backstory. It's not effective the way they're telling it. In fact, it's clear that they're just trying to keep you on board. Now, call me a bit of, this might be relevant, but let's look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender. You watch the show because you want to know what was gonna happen, not because you want major questions answered. With regards to characters' backstories, they'd allude to it a couple of times, and then you get a full-on episode that showed that character's backstory. So it was always, those episodes are always really enjoyable. And they really allow you to feel for the characters and get inside them because you get to see all this stuff that happened to them. And here it's not the same just being told the backstory. But yeah, that bothered me. So on another note, this episode was kind of creepy. Like, this was creepier than the episode they did around Halloween, which it was alright, but this episode really kind of was creepy. I mean, they kept using the jump scare over and over again, but it was still kind of creepy. And annoyingly enough, I'm in the middle of watching Avatar. I saw the Puppet Master episode, which was also creepy, so it was like double creepy, although Avatar's Puppet Master was significantly more spooky. Not creepy, spooky as so much creepy as... It was far more creepy than this episode. There was also an interesting reveal in regards to the villain of this episode, and they kind of made him sympathetic and gave him a backstory. So this episode, it was basically just felt like another filler episode, although we did get a bit more of May's backstory and a bit more of her development, but again, not enough, just a tease just to screw with everyone when really, just give us her full backstory. I mean, I know there's tons of other stuff you can use as suspense, and, you know, I want to care about this character. I don't want the fucking cock tease. Just presenting her backstory the way you are doesn't make us care for her. It's just you just doing like, we're going to tell you a bit, but not everything, because if we tell you everything, then you'll stop watching. But yeah. So, again, it was a good episode, but in regards to actually advancing the plot, it's just way too much filler. And unlike Avatar, it's not even like really good filler. But hopefully, then we're approaching the mid-season finale, so hopefully they'll throw something big at us there. So yeah, that's all I have to say at this point in regards to this episode. This is JStars360, and I'll see you guys in the next video.